Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a 3v3 tier list. This is the third time I'm making this video, and I've had a lot of, it's just a lot of things. So I made like two 40-minute videos, and one had the sound that was weird, so I might have fixed the sound. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if the sound is fixed or not, or if I can do anything else. But yeah, this is basically just going to be a 3v3 tier list. We're going to get this done fast, and since I've already done it three times, I kind of know where I'm putting stuff, and we're pretty much going to go from there. So, if without further delay, let's get into the video. Right before we start, actually, if you're interested in carries, coaching, or any other service, make sure you come hit me up on my personal Discord down below. Otherwise, join my community Discord. And if you were wondering, on my community tab on my YouTube, I vote, videos that you can put. The one that won is the 3v3. That's the reason we're doing this video right now. So, sometimes I'll post on my community what you guys want to see next. Whatever wins, I'll post. So, 3v3 ended up winning, so we're doing 3v3. And let's start it off with it. So, first we're going to be starting off with the obvious, which is going to be Elemental Shaman, which is going to be your S tier. Elemental DH, Elemental Ferrodurd, Elemental Rogue. And the reason Elemental Rogue would be good is because LEs give you a mastery buff that it's basically Sky Fury that's permanent that gives you 20% mastery buff, which is insane. And then obviously just LE Fury Warrior. Everything can work with an LA pretty much. It's good. Next one we're gonna be going with is Enhancement Shaman, which is gonna be obviously B tier. Uh, Enhancement Warrior is gonna be your best bet. Obviously, Enhancement Windwalker can also work, but it's not gonna be that great. Next one we're gonna be going off with is gonna be Fire Mage. Now, Fire Mage is kind of a hard one to rate. I want to put it at B tier, but I still think it's good enough where it can be played at A tier. I just don't think it is anymore. So the AoE build got nerfed, and then I've seen on the beta, they're struggling to do damn. So I'm honestly going to put it at A tier for now, or B tier for now, and I might switch it later, but I just don't think Fire Mage has what it takes anymore. Like, its overall burst damage is mediocre, it's okay, but it's not great. Like, it's okay. So next one we're going to be going with is Frost Mage, which is obviously going to be S tier. If you guys haven't watched any Frost Mage gameplay, it's doing a lot of damage right now, and it is going to be good. Obviously, I wouldn't say it's better than Ellie, but it's definitely not A tier. It's good. It's probably the best it's been in a while. Next one we're going to be going with is going to be Arcane Mage, which is going to be also B tier. Both of them just struggle out to put out damage. Like, the other classes just have so much more consistency, and even on their bursts, it's still mediocre. Like, classes that can do unhealable damage the entire game are just so much better than, classes that rely on burst. The next one we're going to be going with is going to be Shadow Priest. Now, I overestimated Shadow Priest. I'm going to be putting this at S or B tier for right now. It does struggle. I've seen gameplay of it, and I don't think it's A tier anymore. It has utility and everything, but it has no wall. Like, it needs a wall. These type of classes right here need like an official evoker wall, like a mini survival instincts for these classes. Like, not lock or anything, but like just something that they can force somebody to get them off just for a couple, like just for enough time to where they're like they can calm down. Like, I played casters before, and some casters are just so hard. It's just like you have to worry more about survival than just being able to cast or do anything else. And then when you do have to cast, if you don't fake cast every single cast, if you don't get every ground, if you don't, it's just the most. I don't know. I just hate it. I can't stand casting. That's why melees are just so much easier because you're just obviously if you're playing double caster, it's a little bit different. But in overall, melees are a lot easier than casters, and that's just the facts. So the next one we're going to be going with is going to be Warlock. Destro Warlock is going to be A tier. It's definitely not S tier yet, but again, if it gets a small buff, it can easily go up in the ladder. Again, this is a caster that really requires you to cast. It did get a buff, so we don't know too much about Destro yet, but I guarantee it's going to be A tier, and that's going to be that. All lock specs in my mind are A tier. All of them are good. They're not S tier wise, but they're not B tier either. So you're going to see all three of these specs a good amount. Demo Frost Mage, and you're going to see Rogue, Affilog, Affy SP. You're still going to see a lot of comps that you may not see, but yeah, that's pretty much that. That's my thoughts on that. I think all lock specs right now are A tier. They're not, insane, but they're not bad either. Next one we're going to be going with is going to be Hunter. MM Hunter is pretty trash right now. It's B tier. Its burst damage is like minimum. It's okay. It's like a fire mage, and then off their cooldowns is the same thing as a fire mage and enhance and whatever. They have mediocre damage that just can't keep up with anything. Everyone else is doing like somebody's doing 20 million, and then these guys are doing like 8 million by that time, and then Evoker and Ellie are doing like 40 million. It's just like a total difference in class design and OPness. So the next one we're going to be going with is going to be Survival Hunter, which is another class that's going to struggle. Now, Survival may have damage. It doesn't have a wall. Classes, and even if it has a wall, I think it has that green ability that lasts like 4 seconds or something. It's just not strong enough. Like, they just die too quick. Every hunter I've ever healed or played with, they literally start at 60% HP and they'll get stunned for 2 or 3 seconds, not even, and they die from 60 to 0, even if there's no cooldowns going out. The fastest class that I've died on is either between Hunter or or a Fire Mage. Or maybe my even my Rogue sometimes. Like they just die incredibly fast. Maybe even Boomy too. So it'd just be nice if they give classes like not necessarily a dark pack, but like an evoker wall would just be exactly what some of these classes need, like an actual official wall. But who knows? Next class we're gonna be going with is going to be BM Hunter, which is actually going to be the best Hunter spec that you can play, I think. You're having a lot of consistency. You're able to play long range. You're able to kite really good. Overall, you're not forced to be in their face, and you have consistency. That's all that really matters in this game anymore. It's PvE, PvE, consistency, PvE. That's it. So BM Hunter is probably going to be the one spec that you might see a lot more than everything else, but we don't really know too much about it. The next one we're going to be going with is going to be Rogue. Sub Rogue in the beta right now is going to be low S. I don't think it's as good as Ellie or Devoker, but I definitely think it's going to have its spot up there. It deserves the S tier spot. You have CC. Obviously, Gouge got nerfed. Kidney got nerfed, but at least you have damage. Now, obviously, there's a few things that definitely need reworked. The kidney change needs to be changed to 25 seconds minimum. The Gouge change needs to turn back to 4 to 5 seconds. And the stuff that can break blind. So you'll blind somebody, and all of a sudden, like your class randomly will put on a blade on them, and it happens because on everything, because you have to take a hero power or whatever, a hero talent, and all hero talents end up breaking your CC. So that definitely needs to be reworked and changed immediately because if that's just going to be annoying. But who knows? The next one we're going to be going with is going to be Assassination, which is going to be A tier. It's okay. It did lose Shadow Dance, but it's still good enough to hold its A tier spot, and that's pretty much that. Outlaw Rogue is going to be obviously B. You may see a few of them in the future, but as far as now, you're not really going to see much of them. It can work out for you in some way, so you can CC, but now that it doesn't have Shadow Dance and it doesn't really have like it's just not going to be that good. Let's just be honest. Unless it's like Shadowlands Outlaw Rogue, I don't think Outlaw will ever have its real place in A or S tier, but who knows. So next one we're going to be going with is going to be Pharaoh Druid, which is actually, it did get revert changes, but I still think it's S tier. They got an immense buff overall. So of all playing fields, they got buffed just an insanely amount. They're hitting 3 million bytes even still. So as far as I know, right now they're definitely S tier, and you're definitely gonna see a lot of Pharaoh Druids, especially if they're good. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be S tier. The next one we're gonna be going with is going to be Boomy. Boomy's going to be low A. It does struggle with damage, and the problem with Boomy in this type of meta is the fact that you're never able to come out of form. So it's like I played my Boomy, and every time I come out of form and I try to Cyclone, by the time I try to fake cast Cyclone, because I had to fake cast 9 times just to get one clone off, because that's how hard it is to actually cast in this game, it's insane. So I would be fine, and I'm not even kidding, if some of these classes that literally had to cast, if they just if maybe like give them one instant cast, just like every DR, just one. So like an instant cast clone for Boomy, or for classes that struggle to actually cast, just give them a cast that they can use that helps them and benefits them in a way that's not broken, but it works out. I feel like having to fake cast 9 different times or having to get precog to be able to play your class, it's so dumb. And the fact that you have to do that just to be able to do anything in the game, I can get the outplay, but at a point in time when you have to go through three kicks, a grounding, and LOS, it's like it's insane how hard it is to cast. Like I think casting is 5 times harder than playing a melee, and I think healing is 5 times harder than casting. Like cat versus DPS wise, it's actually insane. So I'd say it's very low A, maybe even high B. It does struggle with damage a lot, so I mean you're not really gonna see a lot of them. Next class we're gonna be going with again. This could be high B, and I'm tempted to put it at high B. I mean the only reason it's not is because of its amount of CC, and it still does damage. Like on its burst, it has good damage. It's just off its burst, it sucks. But that's the reason it's not B tier. If it didn't do any damage at all, like an outlaw rogue, then it would be down. So that's where I think it's gonna stand. Again, Fire Mage could also be in the same situation though. So I think what I'm gonna do is change it because I just kind of explained why this was low A. So I think this deserves to even at this point it deserves to be low A for right now. For now, so we may change Fire Mage because of its AOE build being nerfed. But if they can buff their overall single target damage, I guarantee it'll skyrocket real quick. The next one we're going to be going with is going to be um, Resolute. Resolute is going to be S tier, which is going to be your best healing option. It's doing a lot of healing, not only in Blitz, not only in RBGs, not in solo shuffle, not only in threes, not only in twos. Every single thing across the board, you're going to want a Resolute, at least one. They're just super strong. They can work out with a lot of comps, and you're going to have a lot of fun playing it. The next one we're going to be going with is going to be Evoker. Dev Evoker is going to be S tier. It's the one class that probably does the most burst damage in the entire game. Off the beta, based on what I've seen, if you're looking at pure damage stats, so I have seen the highest amount of damage that I've seen consistently was 880k, and that was from a dev every single time. The highest damage I've ever seen somebody do, like per second, was from an Evoker. They're doing an insane amount of consistency. They're doing double, almost triple everyone's damage every round. Even when they're being targeted, it's actually insane how strong they are right now. And you're definitely going to see a lot of them. The next one we're going to do is Aug. Aug's obviously going to be B tier. We don't even have to talk about that. Yeah. Next one we're going to be going with is going to be Mistweaver. Mistweaver is going to be low A, maybe even high. I'd say low A. Um, it's okay, like it's good, but the problem with Mistweaver is there's other classes like Disc Priest are going to be insane. Wrestlesham's way better than like you'll see during this, and I'm basing this off the beta, so I'm not just basing this off of random pre-patch things because sometimes Blizzard will do things in pre-patch that just make no sense. So like the stand buffs and all that, we're not even going to deal with that. So we're just basing this off the beta, off what my current knowledge of the game, because the beta is more closer than what the pre-patch will be. So just keep that in mind. So the next one's going to be, yeah, I'm going to keep that there. Windwalker is also going to be high A. And again, it could even end up being S tier. It's very close from being S tier. A lot of these specs here are so close to being S tier. They just struggle on like a 3 to 5% buff in order to just kill something. So it's close. It is very close. The next one we're going to be going with is going to be Frost DK, which is going to be S tier for right now. The amount of burst damage that you're getting off on a Frost DK right now, and pretty much everything combined is going to be insane. Put a Frost DK with a Dev Evoker, and you will see your life will flash before you. God won't even be able to save you from the wrath of these classes. So just keep that in mind. The other one is going to be Unholy DK. I underestimated Unholy DK. Everyone was telling me, oh, well, Unholy DK just is going to be unplayable. No, it's good. It's one of the highest DPSs that I still see currently, like overall in an overall game. So I'd say it's high A, if not, I wouldn't say it's low A or low S, but it's definitely up there in A. Like it's easily you're gonna see a lot of these. You're gonna see more Unholy DKs most likely than Frost, just because everyone hates Frost DKs for some reason. I just think it's the fact that you have to rely off of burst damage instead of like an Unholy DK where you can just Death Coil, Death Coil, Death Coil, Death Coil, put my bleeds up, Death Coil, Death Coil. So we'll see what we see about that one. The next one's going to be Ret Paladin, which I honestly think it's not S tier anymore. I kind of reverted my change with this. The reason is I don't think it has the burst damage anymore. Like it has the burst, but like it's not like burst damage in this type of meta just matters. Like it matters. Like when you compare like an Ellie or a Dev Evoker or a Frost Mage, these classes have consistency in a good way. When you go to Ret and Windwalker and DK, or like Unholy wise, They have burst damage, but they're not doing any crazy numbers off their burst. Like they're waiting for mini goes, they're waiting for their burst. These other classes, these three can just permanently do damage. Like always having some type of damage where they're killing you. These other classes are like mini damage. It's okay. There may be a chance that they can help out, but that's the reason these really aren't S tier. And the reason these are S tier is because on their burst damage, they're doing a ton of damage. So just keep that in mind. Next class we're going to be going with is going to be Restless Shaman. Restless Shaman is going to be high A. You're going to see a lot of Restless Shamans between Disc Priest and Restless Shaman. I think people underestimate them. I've seen them on the beta, and I've seen Sidu play it, and I've seen Lorax play Disc Priest. And yeah, Restless Shaman is going to be insane. It's going to be a little bit lower than Wrestle Druid and Presevoker, and then it's probably going to be maybe equal or a little bit lower than Disc Priest. So I'm putting Disc Priest at low S. Um, Based off the beta and what I've seen, it's going to be insane. It's going to be able to at least compete in a way that it has a chance. But again, there also could be a chance that I don't really want to put it with Presevoker. So what I'm going to do actually to make it fair is I'm going to do this. So it's going to be Disc and then Resasham together. Mistweaver is going to be a little bit below that. So Mistweaver is going to be below all these. And the only ones I want in S tier this time are going to be these. At least for the time being, for now, because I don't want to put Disc Priest in S tier when they're not equaled out. Like at least these classes, they're even though some are more broken, at least they have a thing that makes them broken. Disc, obviously they have a good healing and everything, but when you're talking about healer wise, these just don't match up. I'm sorry, they don't. Like Resident and Presevoker, they will stomp even a class like Disc Priest. Like obviously stomp in the terms of okay, well you're gonna be in a disadvantage if you face it, so I don't want to put them in the same category when it's a disadvantage. So I guess it only makes fair if I put it in high A, if that makes sense. And for H-Trial, I'm also going to be reverting this change. I'd usually put it at B tier, but I think it is wrong to be biased since I play H-Trial. So I'm going to put it at low A tier. So it means it's going to be behind Mistweaver, it's going to be behind Restless Shaman, it's going to be behind Disc Priest, it's going to be behind every healer but Holy Priest. The only healer that I think is worse than H-Trial currently is obviously going to be Holy Priest. So the worst healer in the entire game, me personally, based off what I've seen, is Holy Priest, and the reason it is because no defensive cooldowns and its overall healing is just terrible. The only reason Holy Priest is ever good is if it's lay on handsing their teammates, and then on top of that, it has permanent Serenity. Literally, it has Serenity almost 24/7, and when you do, and you're able to have, like, you're just able to top your teammate off non-stop after non-stop. If it's not able to do that, it's never going to be good. And the reason is because it's not an AoE healer. Just like H-File isn't. Obviously, you get your things that you can put on people. You can pretty much heal everybody at the same time. But it's just not as good. Like it's not like Riptide healing. It's not like Atonement healing. It's not like Resident HOTS. It's not like Presevoker HOTS. It's just not. So just keep this in mind. These are low A. I don't think because the thing is they're playable. They're just obviously not as good. Now what I could do is this. This might make more sense personally. This may make more sense. The thing is, I still think if you're able to win, so if you're able to outplay somebody and win, then the class is good. Everything is possible to win like I just don't want to put them because it's so unfair for healers to put them in the same category because these are going to be broken. Like these are going to be really good. These are the top chains of healers behind this. Okay, so I regret what I said. I'm putting it at B tier. You guys can literally hate me all you want. I can't do it. My mind just won't make up. I cannot because I played the classes, so I know, and I've seen it all be played out. And I'm telling you, every time it won't work. I'm telling you, these healers are going to be the most unplayed healers in the entire game. I promise. And then behind this is going to be Mistweaver. And then you're going to see a lot of Restosham, Disc Priest, Presevoker, Restodur. Those four healers, you're going to see a lot. So just keep that in mind. I'm keeping it there. I don't care what you guys say. Fury Warrior is going to be obviously S tier. Fury Warrior is the class that is going to be S tier because of its consistency and its comp that it can play. You're going to see a lot of Devoker. You're going to see a lot of mages with Fury Warrior. So just keep that in mind. Fury Warrior is going to be really good, really popular class right now, and you're going to see a lot of them. Now, you might not see them on beta, so you guys might be like, oh, well, on beta, it sucks. We're basing this or pre-patch, I meant. We're basing this off the beta, so all my knowledge, because the beta is going to be closer to the actual expansion than what the pre-patch is. Just keep that in mind. The pre-patch is just they're nerfing and doing a bunch of things, but in the beta, that's literally the beta. So it's basically testing out what you're going to be playing. So just keep in mind, don't balance it off the pre-patch, balance it off the beta. I think it makes more sense that way to me, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just dumb. So, next class I'm going to be going with is Arms Warrior. Arms Warrior is going to be okay. It's not going to be great. So, Arms Warrior is that spec that it does a lot of burst dam, but it doesn't have any consistency. A class like this needs consistency, like a Fury Warrior, and it just needs because Fury Arms. Think about this: Arms Warrior is not able to hit something 24/7, and when it hits something, it needs to be able to kill it. So let's say I'm facing a caster or facing somebody that's running away from me. If I catch up to him and I use my 3 second stun, I need to be able to on my damage. I need to be able to 100 to 40 him in that 3 second stun at least minimum, and that's with no crits. That's regular. Even though it sounds, it's like, oh, that's broken. Every other class does this. So it's not like oh well he shouldn't be able to do that. No, every other class does this. Every other class kills somebody with all their CDs from 3 to 4 seconds. I don't see why any other class can't do that. It only makes sense to me that way. Because then once this guy gets kited out, what is he gonna do? Run around the map? Same thing as Red. What are they gonna do? Run around the map and they finally catch you again just to be able to, oh, I full Haj him. I full Haj the healer. Oh, we can maybe kill. And then he sits at 100% HP. It's ridiculous. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm not changing it. DH is obviously S tier. DH is S tier obviously because of the amount of damage that you're able to output and the fact that you're able to just, oh, I swap this guy. You're literally just like a target locked aimbot. You're literally hitting pets. If the pet comes after you, you go after it and it's dead. It doesn't even have a chance to run. There's no running from a DH. There's no kiting. There's no hiding. If you try to hide from a DH, he finds you. If you try to run, it's like Michael Myers. He doesn't stop. Even if you go across the map in the room, he will follow you to the ends of the world. It's like a warrior that's Zug Zug. He'll leap across the map to get to you, but with a DH, it's a total different story. Because there's no hiding. You can't just stealth away. He will find you, and he will kill you. Not gonna lie about that. But that's pretty much the end of this video. Let me know what you guys would think about this video, and that'll pretty much be it. Obviously, some of these aren't actually in like lines, so just keep in mind, unless I literally, said it, they're not actually like, because obviously, Assassination Rogue is better than BM. So just keep that in mind. These aren't perfectly in sync. So when you're looking at this, don't be like, oh, he put Warrior in front of Windwalker. No, that's not no. I described the class and where it should be at a certain stance, so that's why the videos are so long. Because I actually like describing why this class is bad or what they can do to maybe fix it. But you guys want to let me know what you guys think in the comments. Obviously, I know some people are going to disagree with me, but at the end of the day, I have my own opinions. You guys have your own opinions, and I like to see what you guys say. So let me know what you guys want to see next, and otherwise, that's been X, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, because I do enjoy making these tier lists. I like voicing my opinion on these matters, and, I enjoyed it, actually. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.